Good afternoon to everyone. I request you all to please take your seats, and we are going to start with the next session immediately. So we have a wonderful speaker with us and a very interesting topic for all of us. So I request everyone to please assume their seats so we can start with the next session. So have we ever wondered as to how the intersection of technology, data, and human insights can shape your wealth? Finance and cutting-edge technology is assuming a lot of importance in the form of fintech. Wealth tech is one such term which is probably a little unheard of, but is a great subset of fintech. How data, big data, AI, blockchain, and cloud computing can help us grow our platform. How the self-service investment platforms, which are having a lot of importance today, through AI-driven insights, how ultra net worth platforms, how net worth advisory platform, generative AI advisories, all these are helping in setting forth very personalized portfolios for every individual. Everyone wants a very curated portfolio as per their own needs and fulfilling their own time horizons and expectations. For all of this, your technology is assuming a lot of importance. Gone are the days when we are dependent on simply our wealth advisors for telling us as to what is the status of our portfolio. A lot of those data is now available with us. How do we use those information online? How do we use those data online to make sure that we can shape our portfolios to the best extent possible? So with this small introduction, let me now introduce a very important topic in front of you, which is wealth tech. For this, we have a wonderful speaker with us, Mr. Gaurang Ganeriwal ji. So I request him to take his position on the dais. Please. Yeah. Mr. Gaurang Ganeriwal joined ICICI Prudential Asset Management Company Limited in February 2007. Over the period of years, he has progressed through various roles and currently serves as the Zonal Head East, where he leads a team of regional and cluster managers along with relationship managers. His focus is on strengthening distribution networks, enhancing investor outreach, and driving AUM growth within the segment. In his current role, he is responsible for the zonal retail strategy, managing key channels including IFAs, national and regional distributors, as well as digital platforms. He holds a management degree from ISBM Pune. Welcome, sir. We are thrilled to have you here, and we look forward to your wonderful insights on this topic. So as a token of our appreciation from our side, we request Chirag Bajaj to please come here and please present a Uttoriya and memento to our honorable speaker for the day. Let's give him a big round of applause, please. Sir, I now request you to assume the stage, and it's all yours. Please commence with your deliberation. Thank you so much.
Okay, it's on. Hi. Very good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for inviting myself over here for this session. So myself, Gaurang Ganeriwal, I'm from ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund. So currently, I can see a lot of interest in the crowd about stocks, about gold, about silver, and I'm sure everything can be done through a mutual fund platform also. So to talk about basically about wealth and wealth tech, currently the dynamics of investing is changing a lot, and it has changed a lot over the past 5 years, I would say. Before that, The dynamics used to be very different. But post-COVID, so like we used to talk about BC and AD, so the world has now got divided between pre-COVID and post-COVID. So post-COVID, things have changed a lot, and the way we are adopting to digital things and tech is like completely different today. So some data points, basically what's happening in the world around us. So if you look at the adoption rate from years of market penetration, by market penetration, I mean when adoption has gone to 50%. So if you look at maybe a stove or a telephone, it took 66 years for a telephone to get adopted. Or a stove, it got 187 years for a stove to get adopted in India. While today, if you look at smartphones, it just took 7 years for that adoption. So what I'm trying to say is that the adoption of change is happening at a very faster pace compared to what it used to happen earlier. Look at the number of users on TikTok. 1 billion users, it took just 3 years for 1 billion users to come on a platform like TikTok. While Windows, MS Office, Facebook took 9 years, TikTok took just 3 years. I have not plotted the data about ChatGPT or DeepSeek, and I'm sure that will be further a very different kind of a data. So diffusion of innovation is happening, and the scale at which we are changing, we are seeing the change of world is very, very different. And similarly, finance and similarly investing, the way we invest in markets is changing in a very, very faster pace today, what we see earlier. Now, why this is happening? Obviously, there is a financial inclusion which is happening where everybody is opening a bank account, whether you talk about villages, cities, definitely there was there. But because there's so much of direct benefit credit happening, bank accounts are mandatory, everything linked to Aadhaar. And obviously, Indian mobile, the way internet has been available to the entire mass. Today, we've got almost more than 60 crore users who are using internet. While if I talk about mutual fund data, that looks like a very small number, which is just like less than 5 crore today. So because of so much of advancement in internet, in mobile smartphones, everything, the technology, the wave is come, and it's like moving, and it's like changing the entire gamut of investing. So channels, traditional channels like a CNBC, which used to be a news reading channel, just giving news to all, it's like become a multi-platform channel hosting US elections also today. So the way the shaping of the things are very, very different. So this is one interesting data about the demat account holders. So pre-COVID, whatever the demat account were, which was some closer to 4 crore kind of a demat accounts, 2025, we are sitting at 19 crore demat accounts. And why that is happening? Because obviously COVID tha, market had corrected, people were sitting at home, then suddenly market bounced back and market started giving good returns. लोगों ने क्या सोचा, क्या करें, डीमैट खोलते हैं, स्टॉक लेते हैं, स्टॉक ट्रेडिंग चालू करते हैं, and that is where we've landed up into these many demat accounts, and all the demat accounts were getting opened online as well. So that's the kind of shift that we have seen. It's like a wave. ये shift भी नहीं बोलेंगे, इसको wave बोलेंगे. तो entire India लगा था खेलो इंडिया खेलो करने में. People were just buying stocks, they were selling stocks, and that is what the demat accounts we saw, the kind of changes that happened. Similarly, for mutual funds, I can say that yes, there was a drastic shift which happened when COVID hit, and from there, if you look at the growth of mutual funds, that has been tremendously fast. Today, we are sitting at some 72 lakh crore of MF AUM. So which is roughly 30% of the bank deposits today. So bank deposits are somewhere between 230 to 40 lakh crores, and mutual fund AUM is roughly at around 70 lakh crores. So which constitutes to be 30% of the bank deposits, which is huge, and which till 10 years or 8 years or 7 years, it was at a very low number. And this decadal shift has just happened in a very small time, just 4 to 5 years. You see the assets have grown in a very big way. Why this is happening today? Again, you've got the ease of technology. You've got apps which are like Grow, like Kuvera, like ET Money, like Zerodha. All these apps have made transactions so easy that today even a driver is having an SIP. So mutual fund sahi hai, mutual fund sahi hai. Those campaigns where Dhoni used to come and Rohit Sharma comes and they talk about mutual fund. It became paperless. Lot of things became very easy. It could happen on mobile. Your KYC could happen just on a video. And we saw a tremendous shift happening on the technology platforms, on the app, and where we saw mutual fund exploding in the last 4 to 5 years. Today, if I have to talk about, if I break up the sales of any mutual fund company or the industry as well, you'll see 30% of the sales are coming through these apps without anybody doing anything. So earlier when mutual funds used to be very HNI centric, very centric to people who are like earning well, from there it's become a mass product today where people, anybody on the street, he can come and buy mutual funds. And that is what is happening. That is what is shifting the entire game, that we've been able to see such kind of a boom. Now these platforms, again, because of ease of transactions, we see a lot of people coming here, buying, trading, selling. But there are obviously the darker sides of these platforms also, because typically what happens, we've seen the customer behavior where people tend to make errors while investing into mutual funds through these platforms. One is the past returns. So people are so fixated with past returns that what typically happens is they do a sorting of last 1 year return, 3 year return, and people just buy those products blindly. But one thing we should understand, that the asset class, the asset category, which has given tremendous returns in the last 1 to 2 years, obviously is also heated up, and expecting the same asset class to deliver a similar kind of return in future, it is very, very difficult. So people end up making not a very great return because they keep on chasing return on these platforms, and because of that the return generation is not very great. And that is what we see in the last 3 to 5 years, that people typically come when there's a wave, like post-COVID, technology funds were doing very well. Everybody started coming into technology funds through these platforms. And what happened later, they never exited, and whatever returns they made, they were just paper returns, they were paper profits, and they could not realize those profits. So these are some of the darker sides of being online. The second biggest challenge about being online technologically over here is that the ease of convenience is such that people exit very randomly, people exit very fast. If you invest into a real estate, if you invest into other kind of asset classes, because it's not easy to come out of those asset classes. Today, if I buy a land, it will take me almost 6 months, maybe a year to exit that land, to find a buyer and exit that land. But here, the life of the investor becomes so easy that on the app, I can just press a button and I can get back my money in 3 days' time. So because of that also, people don't stay very long in their investment journey and end up making a lower return or a substandard return. So that's some of the darker sides that we see that these tech platforms are giving to the investors. So obviously reason for growth has been a lot. It has been not just one, but different reasons, where starting from ease of transactions, UPI, which is like a big movement that happened in our country, and because of that, all the financial transactions today is become very easy. Transacting on a mutual fund also has become very easy, and the literacy, obviously the financial literacy has also gone up. People today, we are seeing a shift in the investment pattern. There's a culture shift. The average age of the customer has come down. So earlier, if we see, the average age of the investor used to be some 40, 45 years kind of a age. Today, the average age has become 28 years old. Now imagine a 28-year-old person, a guy just fresh out of college, just into the workforce. What will he do? Where will he invest? Whether he'll go to an FD, whether he'll go to a PF, whether he'll buy an NSC, whether he'll come into capital markets. The most likelihood is that he'll come into capital markets either directly opening a demat, Acae stock kharidega, or maybe starting an SIP, doing a mutual fund kind of a trade. So obviously, there's a shift of pattern happening on the investment side. That is why we see so much of money coming into the capital markets, into the stock markets. Earlier, out of the household saving, only 1.5% money used to come into the capital markets, and that is where the liquidity used to be very low. Today, that 1.5% has become 4.5%. So out of the household saving, which is like 30% for India, 4.5% money comes and gets deployed into capital markets, and that is why we don't see the liquidity crunch. That is why we don't see markets correcting, whether it is US-Ukraine happening, Russia-Ukraine happening, whether it is Israel-Iran happening, whether it is India-Pakistan happening. That's the reason that we don't see markets correcting in a big way, because there's so much of liquidity chasing so much of sectors and so many of stocks. And that is the reason, and the more this happens, the more this shift is happening. Obviously, it will give a lot of boost to our capital markets, where our markets will also expand and the customers will make a good returns which are lesser volatile. So if there is lesser volatility, the customer is like very comfortable in that kind of thing. So today, talking about technology, a lot of things at a manufacturer level, a lot of things are changing. Obviously, there is AI, and AI is a reality. So it's a moment like where we talk about that AI is going to change things. Yes, it's a definite yes that AI is going to change things. Is AI going to eat up the jobs? We think maybe not eat up the jobs, but the nature of jobs will change. So what used to happen, AI, like we also use AI a lot of AI in our company as well. A company ki report comes to be like a 500-page report. Now imagine a fund manager, वो 500 पेज की रिपोर्ट वो पढ़ता है, एनालाइज करता है, and does all those kind of things, and the amount of time taken to do that. Now AI is helping कि वो 500 पेज की रिपोर्ट को वहाँ पे अपलोड करके I can just get a gist of what this company is doing. But you need a person to actually analyze this report and actually to figure out what to do with this report, whether to invest, whether to prune positions, or what to do with that company. So obviously a lot of AI is getting utilized, but it's changing the nature of job, making life easier. But that's a reality that we are investing in a big way in AI, because we also want lives to be easier, and that is how you can connect with the customer also in a bigger way, because you can understand the customer in a better way when you're using AI. So there are a lot of algorithms that is used. So there's a quant model, there's a model which is like telling you where to invest, which stocks to invest, which sectors to invest. So those algo tradings, that also is happening, has started happening amongst all the mutual fund houses, mutual fund companies, where the model suggests that which stocks to buy, which sectors to buy, and that is also happening. But again, here human intervention is also required, though it is all machine learning which gives you the results that what to do, what not to do. But ultimately, you need an individual who analyzes and invests according to what the potential could be. So chatbots, voice-based transactions, these are become very generic in today's terms, and that's how technology is shaping up life for everybody. Now imagine, like for a marketing department that we have, a person, we all understand that there's digital footprint that is happening. आप और मैं जो भी मोबाइल पे या लैपटॉप पे काम करते हैं, जो भी वेबसाइट देखते हैं, there's somebody tracking that. If I've opened a page of a car manufacturer and looking at a price of a car, so somebody is watching it, and obviously there's data to be collected, and wahin pe he gets another message, or maybe in a Facebook reel or something, he gets want to buy a car, start an SIP of 5,000 rupees. So that is how technology is helping in connecting with the customers as well, that we do a lot of investments there, whereby we can get good insights into the customer behavior, into the sectors, into the stocks, etc. So I was saying, it's just a repetition of that you need human, though AI is there, but not all jobs will get so automated that you actually will not require human beings to take an analytical bent of mind and decide. Though you can put equity in ChatGPT in different forms, a different word, and the results are going to be very different. But you need a logical mind to understand and interpret it so that you can make rational decisions over there. So this is one of the valuation models also that we use, which obviously a lot of tech goes behind in getting these valuation models, which is all automated for our company. So this is basically about, we've broken the market capitalization of the equity markets into mid cap, small cap, large cap, and how it looks. So today, top 50, which is looking at 47% of the overall market capitalization, while mid and small cap is looking at 40% of the overall market capitalization. But if you look the history since the last 10 years, you see that 40% of mid and small cap of the overall market capitalization, that's actually a very high weightage, and looks like that mid and small caps are overvalued from this chart. And the top 50 companies, which generates almost 50% of the corporate profitability in the country, they are just being assigned 47% of the overall capitalization, which is actually makes you believe that large caps or the top 50 companies are the companies where you can get a lot of value. So these are some of the things that we obviously do. This is an interesting one, which is the equity valuation index that we talk about. So this valuation index is arrived at looking at the price to equity, price to book, looking at the GSEC, PE, market cap to GDP, all these kind of indicators we've put it, and we've arrived at this equity valuation index, where it actually tells the customer what to do, whether to book profits because the markets are overheated, whether to put aggressively money into equities because the markets are very cheap. So these kind of things can obviously help the customer in taking rational decisions while he might be exposed to so much of noise around because of social media. But look at May 2020. The graph was deep green. That was the time COVID. Sensex was at 24,000. It had corrected from 32 to 24,000. And at that point of time, this chart was screaming to buy aggressively into equities. And anybody who's done that, he's made a fantastic return from there. And look at again May 22, when the market were at deep red, market had peaked, and it was telling whether to book profits or not. So these are some of the indicators, some of the things that we keep on doing. Another example is the asset allocator model. So we understand that a lot of return is made because of asset allocation, while stock choosing, sector selection, all that is very, very important. But asset allocation can generate a lot of returns. How much I put in gold, how much I put in equity, how much I put in debt. And there are funds that are running which completely works on asset allocation, that how much equity to be maintained, how much debt to be maintained, how much gold to be maintained. So all these are possible because of obviously introducing a lot of technological advancement into the investment styles, and that is how we arrive at basic asset allocation, where the customer can put equity, debt, gold, etc. So these are some of the in-house models that we keep on doing, which has been very helpful to us for technology advancements. So what's ahead? Definitely, there'll be a lot of customization that will be required for portfolios. There'll be a lot of small customizations that will be required for different set of investors having different set of needs. And that is what we are cognizant of and doing it. So basically, technology can help us in all the three at a company level, where enhancing productivity of per unit or the per employee, that is very, very important. Personalizing investors' experience. So though mutual funds are very a generic kind of a funds, and there are funds which are generic to the market, anybody coming in those schemes, they'll get the similar kind of portfolios. But personalizing those investor experience, that is one of the things that we are looking at, maybe through a PMS, maybe through AIFs, where you can have customized model portfolios for the customer himself. And obviously mastering private marketing arcs, private equities, unlisted space. So all that thing is happening, and it's almost there. So what's happening at the MF side? Basically, it's a lot of awareness which is there, which we are trying to do. A lot of technological advancements. So today, a lot of investments is happening on technological advancements, so that We understand the markets well, we understand the customer well. So everything is at the fulcrum point is the customer, and basis customers, the customer, because the customer is becoming smarter and smarter. He's not the earlier customer who used to come with a application form, a check and invest. Today, frankly speaking, the offices, the amount of footfalls or people walking into offices to buy mutual fund has decreased tremendously. And everything is moved online. Everything is moved on the website, on the app, on maybe a third-party app, on CAMS app, on Carvi app, and a lot of things have changed for us, and that's how things have changed. A lot of awareness and a lot of product innovation where customers have gained because they've got the best experience over here. So this is where we are, and customers definitely we think are becoming smarter, and especially this 16x which you see over here, which is like the markets which are beyond the top 15 markets. So because of technology today, you see we've been able to reach into smaller places as well. So earlier mutual fund used to be only a metro phenomena where only the top 5, top 6 cities used to be the maximum. They were heavy, and the 90% of the investments used to come from here. But because of technology, today we see the whole thing becoming a mass movement where people from every place, every nook and corner of the country, they are coming and investing with us. Some keyword searches that we see, the most of it is like mutual fund sahi hai, SIP calculator. There are various calculators, how to invest, how to look at your retirement age, what is the corpus that you need, how much should I start investing today for reaching that goal. So all those kind of things that we've been doing, I think it is helping us. The industry has become paperless, and I think very soon we'll see there'll be a graph that 100% is paperless, that no papers are getting used. So that is where we are today because of digitalization. And obviously there's a big change, a decadal change happening, because as I was saying, metro se Bharat. So now it is no more a metro phenomena, but things are moving to the other places. Middle-aged people to the younger age people who are coming and investing into the markets. From men to a lot of women investors that we see that has increased manifold, and that is where the change is happening. From moneyed people who were always rich, influential, affluent to the masses. So everybody is now moving towards getting into a mutual fund kind of a thing. So that's about me on the technological front, that we see as the industry to shape up, that we see the investments to shape up. That is how the customer is moving. And that's about it. I think the earlier speakers, what they were talking about, the trailer and the movie and whatever is happening on the markets, I think we are at the Amrit Kal of the Indian capital markets, and definitely short-term volatility is the nature of the market. It will always be there, and that's good for everybody because we get an entry point over there. But on a longer term basis, I think we think that it will definitely add great value. And being on the capital market side, it will give a better experience compared to any other asset classes. So that's about it from my side. Any questions that you have? So yeah.
Thank you, sir, for an insightful session.
Yeah.
One of your later slides was that the entire industry is going paperless.
Yeah.
And we are moving towards digitalization.
Yeah.
Now, in order to maintain these digital infrastructure, a lot of resources are required, be it, let's say, chips, perhaps, data centers, servers, etc., so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Given where India stands right now and where we are projecting to be, what challenges do you see in maintaining these infrastructures, if any, or whether we are going on a consistently right track, or whether there are bound to be some, let's say, shortfalls or some resource crunches? Like, for example, it was there in the news that because of our over dependence on certain countries, there was crunch of rare earth magnets, so on and so forth. Do you see that happening in the general space, IT infrastructure space as well, be it data centers, servers, chips, so on and so forth, power even?
Yeah, so we don't see right now that kind of a phenomena happening. A lot of things are outsourced today to a lot of IT companies which are quite prevalent in India, and it basically works on economies. So once the economies are also there, then definitely you'll see the cost also coming down tremendously, and a lot of functions getting in-house also. So that's the way we see it, that a lot of things will start becoming in-house also. But as of today, we don't see any kind of a crunch happening.
Nowhere in the supply chain.
Pardon?
Nowhere in the supply chain do you see this crunch happening.
We don't
for
see
any of the
currently any
resources.
crunch happening right now.
So it will just keep on growing.
Keep on growing, it will keep on expanding. So as and when, because there's too much of demand on this side, the capacity will also keep on increasing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Any questions? Otherwise, we can, I think, end the session.
Do we have?
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
So thank you so much for the insightful session. I'm sure we've all understood in terms of the growth strategies that people are having over the period of time, probably in the last 4-5 years, the amount of demat accounts which have grown up by more than 5x, mutual fund portfolios which have grown by more than 3x, and how technology and its ease of usage has resulted in people not only growing their portfolio, but at the same time, there have been a lot of pitfalls which we've come to understand in terms of people losing their patience over not being invested for a long period of time and trying to exit their portfolios because it's at a click of a button. So while it's important that we use the technology in the right way, while it's important to ensure that when we are investing, we stay invested with a lot of patience, we put in the SIPs with the right sort of mindset. One of the most important aspects which Sir highlighted today was with regard to the asset allocation, which perhaps is a very representative of what your time horizon, what your needs, what your goals are for the future, and how different sort of platforms, how technology-related platforms are resulting in helping us use those sort of goals to maneuver our portfolio. So how AI chatbots, algorithm suggestions, robo-advisory, voice-based transactions, all of these are resulting in shaping our portfolio to a great extent. And while Sir was also mentioning with regard to the number of people who are getting invested in the market, it is resulting in the volatility of the market being growing down a lot, because the external factors which used to influence the market to a great extent are now no longer having that sort of influence in the market these days. So with all of this information, I'm sure it has given us a lot of positivity to make sure that if we have not started, we should start investing at a very early age to make sure that we get to our goals and use the technology in the right way to approach those sort of situations. And last but not the least, which Sir highlighted was, it is not just the AI which can result in shaping the right portfolio, but the combination of human mind along with the AI which can result in achieving our goals. So thank you so much, Sir, for your wonderful and insightful session, which we've all understood and we'll all try to improve in our approach towards investing. And with this, I draw a close to our session for this first half today. So I request everyone to please have lunch in just outside our room, and please assemble here once again at 2 o'clock for another round of insightful sessions which are lined up for the second half today. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you on the other side. Thank you.